Right, all right, all right. Peace, 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 and love. Welcome back to Vibes with Moody. Welcome back to Vibes with Moody. Um, we had a beautiful, 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 beautiful weekend, right? Had a nice, beautiful gap down. Not only a gap down, we dropped at least more than 600 points. However, let's go ahead and talk about what we see on the price action right now. I didn't do much charting. I just got me a few levels here. However, looking over here at the 3 hour time frame, we got a nice little cup and handle, right? Nice little cup and handle. We did already start piercing at the gap, right? As we see here, this bar at 3 a.m. kind of took out that liquidity and started piercing in through it. However, we're going to see exactly what she wants to do. I still see more downside potential. However, the VIX has carried on and went all the way to like 74, 77, which that is so beautiful, right? I just felt like I was just I don't know, one of those arenas, like some of them probably an auction. I sounded fire just now. However, long story short, I'll be very excited if we could get if I get to see in my lifetime, as I am trading, right? Because we can all go to the past and things of that nature, right? I would love to see if like we get all the way to like 80 or something of that nature in my lifetime. However, we're at a beautiful, beautiful spot at the VIX. The VIX is just the volatility of SPY, right? Some people call it the inverse. I just say the volatility of it. Um, don't want to talk too much about spy, even though it's one of my secret weapons that most people don't know. However, as I was mentioning, we're on a nice, beautiful cup and handle. If we take her up a little bit higher to like about a 7 hour time frame, we see that we're on a nice sweet bottom. And it's also piercing straight through. So we're gonna see if she wants to go ahead and go for those calls, right? Volatility is high, so we will get some bigger bars. So I won't be buying as many contracts like going crazy. I'll be being more conservative. Why? It's not I'm moving to the conservative side, not like being conservative. And the reason I say that is because with us getting larger bars and things of that nature, and look, let me go ahead and give you a little, and I can stay here on the 1 minute, honestly. I'll just go to the previous day here. And as you see, we could look right here, and I'm on a 3 minute chart, right? This was only at 10:57, right? 10:57, one bar right here gave us 100 points, right? So we're getting a lot of big candlesticks, and that's due to the volatility. So you don't need as many contracts, right? I do have an entry point here for puts. Let me bring her all the way down to a smaller time frame. She's triggering my put entry here at 24,411. I did have a call entry is all the way up here at for $24,495.75. Obviously, I'm gonna bring her down back a tad bit lower for that call entry. Let me see what time it is. I'll place one right now. However, I know that I'm going to be moving it. That's going to be our call entry for right now. And then for our put entry, I still kind of like want it like right here, like kind of around this area. So I'll keep it here. And I'm just going to watch how price action reacts. I don't want to be the first one in. I say that and then I become the first one in, right? So let's not say that. I just want to make sure I make my money today, right? That's how I approach the market, right? I am all types of traders. I am a day trader. I'm a swing trader. Um, I like buying Leafs long term. Right now, what I would tell you as a gem right now is where you start to look at stocks that you want to buy long term, and you can start to dollar cost average into them, right? And not just dollar cost and average into them. Chart your chart, find the great supports, and buy around those levels. However, you can trade SPY, QQQ, TQQQ with me, however you like to skin your cat, right? While I still have a couple more minutes, I'm gonna travel down here and place this one on a 5-minute time frame. And as you see, we're still playing a nice little cup and handle, right? And for the people that are in the coaching in the yearly coaching program, that's getting that intense personal coaching, now you see what I just did, right? You see how I was on a larger time frame. I talked about one pattern, came down here, I talked about another one. I mean the same one, right? Being extremely biased, right? I can also say that they're forming a nice cup and handle down here on this time frame as well, right? It's just forming its cup at the moment. And now we can see a full cup right there, right? And that was me being extremely biased. However, I'm gonna leave that bad boy right there. We have a potential morning star here on the 5-minute time frame. What I am going to do is grab a few more liquidity to the downside, just so that I can know like where she is able to travel to. And look, I'll teach you something. You see how I just put this white line around here? I'm looking at this time frame and I'm seeing that it doesn't belong there. That's why you saw me delete it so quickly, right? Because everything matters. Everything matters. If we could break this level around here, this structure would be a nice drop from here. We'll have to make sure that we break that level and hold under that level. Now, let me just go ahead and take her up to the top really quickly. Okay, yeah, I forgot. Let's not do that. That's dangerous. I know people are going to follow me. I'll follow her that way if she wants to. So what you were seeing me do just now was looking for some liquidity like inside of this gap, but there's no liquidity inside of this gap, right? Here, I'll give you a gem. One thing that I do like to do though sometimes is I'll get some levels from like in here, right? However, the reason I was saying it's dangerous is because if someone doesn't know that you're doing that, they'll follow you and do stuff like that where those aren't like target levels. However, I can utilize it for that, right? So let's just go ahead and leave it as so because I could just reprice action. I just wanted to look a little pretty for you guys. I can see we just triggered the second entry point. Right, and came down. So we'll see if we'll utilize them as put entries still as a break and retest, or even as a call entry. They're back above it, so we'll see. We'll see. Yes, let me make sure. And what you just saw right here was a retracement. It just happened a little bit much more quicker. It's the same level, not level, however, rather me say it's the same thing that you saw here with this gap down, right? How it gapped down and dropped all the way down, and we just retraced it that whole entire level, right? When I have big bars like that, I tend to fib those and get back into that range and knock out the whole entire resistance of it, right? You'll have a support and I'll have a resistance, right? You can see this candlestick here trying to pierce inside of its range, came down, found some more passengers, right? And when I'm saying found more passengers, took out liquidity, got some more ammo, boom, shot it up. You can see it got back over it, boom, bow, hit the resistance. And, if it wants to keep going, it'll keep going and create you a nice little cup and handle with a bull flag breakout, right? Just like right here, nice little cup and handle. And the bull flag breakout is not working at the moment. However, we'll see how it happens. See, I can bring it down to a smaller time frame and really check that bull flag out, right? However, you'll have to look at it a little bit differently. You can still see it with the cup right here, handle right there. If it would have broke down lower than the cup, would have not been there. There goes your nice bull flag, breakout right there. And, I normally only talk about specific patterns that I trade, or reversal patterns. However, I was just showing, the personal coaching program that's still on here, you seeing how I'm being extremely biased right now, right? I was just showing off basically. Anyways, we're logged in. We're ready to trade. I'm biased to the downside. Super, super biased to the downside. We can even utilize this as a entry point. See, all of these been put entries and it's just been triggering and going down. We're getting some extra volatility coming in because it's only about like 2 more minutes into the market. As you've seen, right? That was just a quick pop right here, right? Let me go ahead and explain that. Quick pop, look at the price right here. That was $11 in 5 seconds. And that really happened in less than 5 seconds, right? So that's why I'm saying you don't need to buy a whole bunch of contracts. Nice cup and handle. Giving a little flag. Man, I'm just being so biased at the moment. Let me stop. But I know it's impressing y'all back there, especially like the ones that were on the call and stuff like that. Y'all just like, oh my gosh. So yeah. Will says, I'm at work. So I'm gonna try to take one good trade with y'all, hopefully. I'm saying you just use the word hopefully. We don't hope for anything, bro. So if I was you, you're at work. Enjoy your job, you know? Got a nice breakout right there. Hopefully to me is fear. I don't even like that word. I don't hope for anything in life. I know that it's gonna happen for me and I'm gonna go get it. And I learned that from Dick Gregory. He said, hope? What we gonna hope for? All right. We got what? What we got? 2 seconds. About to open up right now. Bow. Let's go. Oh, I was wrong. I was looking at the 5 second time frame. We got 30 seconds. Let me move this to the 5 minute. That's what threw me off. Ow. There we go. 24 seconds. Yeah, I probably see that. I just love to trade. Like I love trading. We can utilize any of these white lines like for calls and things of that nature if it's holding above and it's nice and strong. And we can also utilize these white lines down here for puts. I'll be over here on a 5 second time frame and I'll let you know when I'm into my trade. All right, there goes a nice push. All right, if it gets into this range, it's overextended really bad. So I'm gonna just wait because I really was about to buy it. If I get over this white line, the range, I'm buying calls. If it holds, all right, I'm buying calls. I'm in calls, y'all. I'm in calls in pretty lightly. We're pulling back at the moment. My stop on these will be under the weekly and daily opening price. We just flirted with a little bit of profits. There it is. I'm a scale. And I'm going to look for one more scale and then hold my position. Come on, baby. There it is. Take that one last scale right here. There it is, baby. Now hold this position. Hold this position. Let's go ahead. Run it back, baby. There it is. There it is. That's over $1,000 on one contract now. I only had 4 and I scaled out. If this goes back to my break even at $24,474.25, I will be taking all my profits. And I only have one contract. Right now, we're only sitting at $400 and something. I'm going to see if we get a nice little reversal right here at the 50% retracement. Dang, y'all can't see it, right? My bad, right here. I've been focused on mines. I may add to the position depending on how she starts to flow, or I'm just going to go ahead and close this position out and call it a winner right here. Calling it a winner. Bow. There we go. Right. So I would get back into the position. It's doing it already. If it went back over this white line, I would get back into the position. Right. And let me show you why. So I'll bring it over here to this 15 up and it's not there. So I may have to bring it to the 30. You see this big candlestick? I will want to retrace it basically. Right. So if it can hold over this white line, see the body right there, I will take it at least to this resistance right here. However, I will tell you to be cautious. And the only reason why is because volatility is high, right? You just saw me do what I did. However, I do consider myself an expert, not a professional, because I am not licensed. The only license I have is a driver's license. So you could definitely get in the car with me. I got you right there. I'm a professional when it comes to that one. You know what I'm saying? However, I consider myself a professional, but I can't say that. You know, I know words. I define them. And a professional is a licensed person behind whatever they're doing. However, let's go ahead and visit this trade on a 5 second time frame so that you have an understanding on why we was able to make the money that we did, right? So with this being said, volatility came in, right? This is when the market opened up. It came down a little bit and started sweeping a little bit of liquidity. This candlestick just smacked straight up. It was a $42 move, right? This candlestick already gave me, I'm not gonna lie to you, a little bit of FOMO and made me want to jump in. Boom, smacked up. That's when it was giving me that FOMO and pulled back. I said, okay, let me just wait. If we get back over this white line, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. I see my nice reversal pattern right here. We pulled back, it gave it to me again, right? However, when we got into the trade, we was like right here, and my entry point was somewhere around here. We didn't see profits that quick. Matter of fact, we did. I wasn't able to scale. The profits was probably about like two to three, $400. It took it away from me pretty quickly. Boom, dropped down. That's when you heard me saying, hey, we're pulling back, we're pulling back. I didn't add to my position. We got a nice reversal pattern, double reversal pattern, smack straight up. And this is where we started to scale out, right? I took my scales right here and then the last one here, right? And then I held that position, right? I was looking to wanting to add to this position, especially if it bounced and reversed nicely here, right? As we see, I chose not to, right? And we didn't hold that level too well already, and we came back down. So now where the price is at 50% of its first move that it gave. Let me go ahead and show you that. Oops, went to the wrong spot. It's just moving pretty quickly right here, right? That 50% retracement, that's it coming right back down to the move that it just previously gave, right? From here, coming straight down there. Why? Because these bars like to play 50% of its price action, right? So that basically was the trade right there, right? I ended up getting out somewhere around here, and still left with a good bit of money with that one contract, right? However, if anybody has any questions real quick, I'll stay on here for a few more minutes. If you have any questions or any questions on, any charts or anything of that nature, let me go ahead and talk to the private community real quick and just see how they're doing back there. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Hey, I don't gotta be shy. Unmute yourselves. Let me know if y'all made some money. Unmute yourselves. Did anybody take that trade with me in the private? Why you got? Why you gotta say it so nonchalant like that? How much money I made? That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Anybody else? 980, two, 250 at work. I hear you. How about you, Liddy Brittany? Oh my God, stop playing with me. Just a big five. I appreciate you. Let's go. Let's go. I'm proud of y'all. Y'all keep doing y'all thing over there. Let me jump over here real quick. Y'all want to take some more trades in a few? I hear you clicking over there, Inu. Oh, my bad. She said, I mean 150. I love it. I love it. Go ahead, Kim. I see you unmuting. She said, I want to take more trades. I got you. I got you. Let me talk to you too real quick. What's going on, Latanson? Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. And I Oh man, I love it. I love it. All right, let me come back over here really quickly. Peace and love. Peace and love. You too. Let me see if y'all got any questions for me. All right, all right. Well, we just had a nice chicken dinner. You seen the community made money. Hopefully you guys made money as well on this end. If not, you'll definitely see me on Wednesday to be able to make money. You'll see me today at 6:30 Eastern to have a quick class. I'm not gonna bore you guys all day. However, I am not gonna tell you what we're going over right now. What I want you to do is though, go look at the previous class, and if you need to, backtrack, make sure you backtrack. I'm making sure to give you these classes step by step. A lot of people say they want step by step, like one, two, three. That's knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Let's make sure that you're gonna pick it up. Pick up the gems. I am a Gemini. That's why they call me a gem. So with that being said, I'm gonna ask you for one favor, and that favor is gonna be, hey, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Throw some fires in this chat if you liked the trade that I just took, right? And on top of that, make sure that you share this with at least 5 people. You feel me? Why wouldn't you want to share the abundance with 5 people? That's weird. Don't be weird. Why you weirding out like that? Stop being weird. Everybody need this money. We all need this money. I just want to take a little quick sip. However, with that being said, I'm about to go to slide over here to the private community, see what I could find, see if we could wiggle another trade out. Because me, I'm truly biased to the downside, to be honest with you. I just seen the opportunity, so I had to take it. I keep trying to tell people. I learned that from Mark Monroe. Opportunities, opportunities, they're not given, they must be taken. You must take those. You must take those. You feel me? All right. and then be delusional about your stuff. Look how delusional I am. I ain't even gonna show y'all that. I ain't even gonna do that. I ain't even gonna do that. Maybe one day y'all get to know me a little bit better. However, with that being said, keep your money. Don't go back trading unless you're going to go back and trade with an expert or if you became an expert. And I say that lightly. I say that kindly, I mean, and don't take that lightly. I promise you, when I wasn't an expert, I will make money and I will give it back to the market all the time. And I'd be pissed off, like really pissed off. And then I'll blame it on like, oh, the market's choppy or it's this or it's that, or, freaking the market makers was just trying to not let me scale out my trade. Like I came up with so many excuses. Um, so if you need help, just slide over to the private community if that's something you want to do. You know what I'm saying? We got a free side over there too. You could, stay on the bleachers and like, yo, Moody. You know what I'm saying? Moody get moody. With that being said, peace and love. Oh yeah. And I barely miss. Mark my words.